this. Alright, shalom, shalom. I'm gonna check the sound real quick. You know what? It doesn't have the volumes. But Lord willing, I can be heard. And we can get this thing started. So in this video, I just want to go into the feast days. You got feast days, high holy days. All right. Well, one of them is Passover. Taught by elders and apostles in Great Millstone. Our Passover was March 23rd. Actually, you know what? Salakia. I want to start by saying all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakal Kudash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. The apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the brothers pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to the brothers and the sisters listening and learning. The hopeful elect. This is your brother Bayan with the with the camp in Charleston, South Carolina. All right, Charleston FC camp. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to go into was Passover. So the what's it called, the 1948ers, right? Their Passover is supposed to be today, right? And I just saw an article where Putin, it says Vladimir Putin has given his best wishes to Russia's Jews for the Passover holiday, underscoring the community's importance in fostering inter-ethnic and interreligious dialogue. All right. Then it goes on to say Passover is a major Jewish holiday that commemorates the liberation and exodus of Israelites from Egypt. This year, Passover begins sundown April 22nd and ends on April 30th. All right. So that would be the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but those dates are off, man. So what today would be considered, and actually it's not today, it would be tomorrow. It'd be today, right? Tonight. It would be a makeup Passover because the original Passover would have already been over a month ago. All right, and that was March 23rd to March 31st, I want to say. All right, and I'm gonna go and explain it. Where did I start? So I got a few things that I want to pull up, right? And first, I want to pull up spring, actually, calving. All right, calving season. Now, why this is important is because the Lord tells us what year or how old our cows is supposed to be when we sacrifice the cows, the lambs, to make the Passover feast. And the lambs is supposed to be a year old, right? And a lamb at a year old, all right, so the lamb would have been born the year before, right? So the reason why that's relevant is relevant to the time that Passover is. All right, right now we're in mid-spring. Passover is supposed to be in the beginning of spring, not the mid-spring. So that's what's very important about that. It's the first month of Abib, and it's supposed to be the beginning of spring. All right, new beginnings, new births, right? The lamb, represents Yahushai, right? And Yahushua was born in the spring. That's how we can relate Yahushua to being born in the spring, because it calls Yahushua the Lamb. Alright, and there's no way Yahushua is going to be born in the winter, right? Because it was too cold for you to have children in the winter. It's too cold back then. Now, I got a few scriptures. I'm going to go ahead and go into it. So this is first Genesis 1. Let's see. Should I pull out the ruler Bible? Yeah. Just pull it up. Dismiss. I'll go to 14. This is Genesis 1 and 14. And the Lord said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And the Lord made two great lights. Right? You see, God made two great lights. The greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So these stars are part of the lights in the firmament that were made from Genesis 1 and 14 to 1 and 15. And it says, let them be for lights in the firmament. It's lucky. In 14 it says, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So these lights are for signs and for seasons and days and years. And this is how it works on earth, right? For when it comes to natural things, right? When it comes to nature, when it comes to animals, all right, it still works as Yahweh Shem Yahshua has set it up. All right. So when it comes to the season for giving birth to cattle, it's still in that same season, right? So it says, actually, let's go into the lights, right? So when is the first day of spring? Spring is in when is the first day of spring in 2024? The first day of spring is Tuesday, March 19, 2024 at 11:06 p.m. Alright, March 19th, that's important because guess what? Our Passover was March 23rd. Now, they don't have to be completely correct when it comes to this date, but they're more accurate than this the Passover being April 22nd. That's right. Their spring is more accurate. All right, because Passover is supposed to be the start of spring. It's supposed to be about new beginnings, right? Our deliverance from Egypt, but it's also the birth of Israel, right, as a nation. So Israel being the birth of Israel as a nation, it's going to start. That's why this was called the first month of Abib. And we got to recognize that. The Lord had set it up from the beginning for this to be our month to be delivered. Now, I'm skipping some parts. It says, for those of us in the northern hemisphere, this was marked by the arrival of the vernal equinox, otherwise known as the first point of Aries. These, naming the stars and whatnot. Traditionally, we celebrate the first day of the spring on March 21st, but astronomers and calendar manufacturers alike now say that the spring season starts on March 20th in all time zones in North America. And that's the Lord speeding up the times, man. He's speeding everything up so that, our days be short. Because if he hadn't shortened the days, there'd be no lives left, man. None of us would be saved. So he's shortening the days, and he's making it so that these Edomites can even see that the Lord is coming back. You can even see that there's a shift, there's a change. Right? Alright. See? It says vernal translates to new and fresh, right? And equinox derived from the Latin equus, meaning equal, and nox, meaning night. So it's referring to equal time. There's an equal time for day and night. So there'd be 12 hours day, 12 hours night, something like that. So once it gets to that point where where it's over the time of equus, right? Equus, equal day and night. That's when you call it spring. That's when spring is approaching, or spring is arriving. So what does that mean? Essentially, our hours of daylight, the period of time each day between sunrise and sunset, have been growing slightly longer each day since the winter solstice in December, which is the shortest day of the year, at least in terms of light. Even though we know that after December 21st, the days start getting steadily longer, we still see more darkness than light over the course of a day in those 3 months leading up to spring. The vernal equinox marks the turning point when daylight begins to win out over darkness. So, and that's how the Lord set it up. The Lord set it up to be that way. All right, because we're supposed to be the children of the day and not the children of the night. So the time for us to be delivered would be in the daytime, where there's, like it says, man, the daylight begins to win out over the darkness, and that's spiritual. That's very spiritual. Let's see. I'll get that scripture. Let's get that scripture. Let's see. Pull it up, Bible. Let's see. 1 Thessalonians 5 says, alright, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 4, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all children of the light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Let's see if there's anything else. Alright. Light, Strong's G, 54, 57. Let's see. To shine or make manifest, especially by rays. Let's see if there's any more on the false. It says the light emitted by a lamp, a heavenly light such as surround angels when they appear on earth. Anything emitting light, a star. Alright. That's very important. A star, fire, because it is light and sheds light. A lamp or torch, i.e. brightness of a lamp. And we know the ultimate light is Yahweh that was sent to us by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Alright? But let's get back on topic. Let me see. There might be something else in the day. Strong's G 2250 says a derivative of hemai, to sit akin to the base, meaning tame, i.e. gentle. Let's see. I'm looking for a root. Says a root. The day used of the natural day, or the interval between sunrise and sunset, as distinguished from and contrasted with the night and daytime metaphor, the day is regarded as a time for abstaining from indulgence, vice, crime, because acts of the sort are perpetrated at night and in darkness. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Eastern usage of this term differs from our Western usage. Any part of a day is counted as a whole day. Hence, the expression 3 days and 3 nights does not mean literally 3 whole days, but at least 1 whole day plus part of two other days. All right, and we're just gonna move on. We're gonna move on. I don't want to make this too long. I have a habit of doing that. But where was I at? Alright, let's go further down. Actually, it was right here, right? Yeah, it's right here. It says, alright. At this moment, the direct rays of sun are shining down on the equator, producing the effect of equal day and night. All right, and I want to point out what gives this article relevance is it's coming from the Farmer's Almanac. All right, and the Farmer's Almanac is it used to be a book, now it's online. It tells you that it tells you when to plant your seeds, when to get your cattle together so they can make babies, they can make little calves and stuff like that. It tells you all things about husbandry, right? And the Lord is the chief husbandman when it comes to Israel, and he uses a lot of symbolisms to husbandry when it comes to raising us up as kings and priests, raising us up as his people of the Lord. He calls us grass, he calls us trees, he calls us his grapevine planted. There's a lot of semblance to it. And the Farmer's Almanac, it tells you the dates and times that you should plant, and the best times throughout the year. This is after the vernal equinox. Remember, vernal means new, right, and fresh. The direct rays of sun migrate north of the equator, with hours of daylight steadily growing longer until they finally arrive at the Tropic of the Cancer, latitude 23.5 degrees north. And that's how it looks upon the earth. Right. And I'm gonna finish there because that's telling you when the spring is, man. When spring vernal equinox, when there's a vernal equinox, and this is a few months after the winter solstice, which is in December. And that says it's spring. That defines spring. Well, not defines spring. That's the signs that the Lord has given us in the earth for spring. So let's go back to Genesis real quick. Genesis 1:14 says, and the Lord said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Right? And the Lord said, and God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And the reason why the stars are a big deal is because they look at the stars. Call it the vernal equinox or the spring equinox, right? Let's see. know what? Yeah, I just used this for a link. That was just the link I used. Alright. Now, so when does calving season begin? Since March 5th, calving season began. So I think it was 2023, calving season was March 5th, right? And it's going to tell you about calving. Let me see. Where is it at? Alright, here we go. So it says, I'm going to skip. It says calving season is the busiest, most anxious time on the farm. This year we had 30 cows, 18 heifers, young female cows that had never had a baby, about to give birth on the 1st of March. Our goal is to never have a calf die because of the farmer inattention, so we must be on around the clock. So why is this important? It's because this is around the time. Alright, this is exactly the method used for having children in the ancient days, because the winters were cold in the Middle East, so you would have to plan your pregnancy around past the winter solstice, past the winter, and then into the spring. That would be the best time to plan your pregnancy. And the Lord planned the pregnancy for Mary. So the Lord planned it in the spring for Mary. This is how Yahushua is represented as a lamb. What else do I have? I have something else I have. I'm forgetting it right now. But we'll move on. It says the cows, to get cows impregnated, we lease 2 bulls for 3 months, June through August, right? So these would be the times that mating season, right? The gestation period for a cow is 9 months, right? We're just the same as us, all right? We, women, their pregnancy period is 9 months as well. So our calving season begins on or around the 1st of March and ends theoretically on June. So it ends first month of March. Starts March, ends in June, and that's when spring is, man. Around the late winter, right, where it's warmer, and then beginning of spring, there we have your first batch of cows. And that's what the Lord did with us when He delivered us out of Egypt. Now, let's get it. Exodus 12. That's what I remembered. Alright. Exodus 12. This month, 12 and 2, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month shall they take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for a lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Now let's skip to the year. Your lambs should be without blemish and male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goat. So a lamb, 1 year old of lamb, right? 1 year from that last year would have been the same month, right? And you should keep it unto the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel should kill it in the evening. else I need to get. But yeah, so this month, beginning of months, right? The Lord has designed it that way. It should be the first month of the year to us, right? And that would be in the spring when we were delivered out of Egypt. And there's probably more that I'm missing, that I don't have searched up right now that can prove more of it. But we have the calving season, right, which begins in the spring in March. Right. Then we have spring equinox, which is also the vernal equinox. That proves to you that spring is supposed to be the year. It's supposed to be the time of the Passover. And right now we're in spring, but we're mid-spring. We're not early spring. And Passover is in early spring. It's supposed to bring in the new year. It's not supposed to be late to the new year for a whole month. So that's just the insight, right? The insight, the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Ashai that was given unto me, that I'm giving back to brothers and sisters. All right. So with that being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakodash, Shalom.